Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to our Motivation and Mindset Monday. I'm excited to dive into this week's topic where we are going to be talking about the 5 daily habits I can't live without. And here's why. I believe that every single person needs a set of non-negotiables. These non-negotiables are what makes your life more fulfilling. What is allowing you to take certain actions that leads you to your goals, your hopes, your dreams, and overall happiness in life. I think that most of us really are searching for that next level of happiness in our life. And it's somewhere around family or relationships, or it's somewhere around career or school for you right now. It might be transforming your health. It might be transforming your body, or it might be your overall spirituality and your connectedness with your community and the universe and with God. So what I want to do today is I don't want to put your goals in your head for you. I want you to have your own set of desires, your own set of hopes and dreams, the things that allow us to be more positive in our outlook towards the future, meaning like wherever we are right now, the future can be different. There's no doubt about that. And you know that in certain points of your life has changed. And as your life has changed, sometimes for better, sometimes for worse, but our life is not static. It's anything but static, right? We are humans being, we are moving, we're constantly changing in our life. And we know that our daily actions are what lead us to tomorrow's outcome, right? Or even today, of course. But the truth is, we don't always see the things that we're doing leading to consequences, good or bad, in our life. And what I've done over the years is simply said that I know that really what I need to do is take care of today. That was the biggest issue with me, is I've always been a bit of a dreamer, always living in the future rather than today. And that's probably caused issues in my life, especially when I was younger, because I was always kind of putting off today because it wasn't what I already wanted to achieve in the future. And so kind of I would jump from thing to thing, and I would say, well, this isn't leading me to what I ultimately want. But the truth is that it was just not as fast as I always wanted it to, because of that impatience factor that some of us have, myself for sure included in that. But what I began to realize was that, yes, I can set goals for a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now. And I've absolutely shared podcasts on how to do that through the 12-week year method. And there's no doubt in a few more weeks, I'll be going back to that. It's pretty crazy because I do this essentially every January 1, right? The 1st of January, I always go back and I really look at the biggest game changers for making this year different. And even if last year was great, this year could be even better. But it goes back to these non-negotiables. And so what I realized was I really needed to take care of today. And if I got today right, then that would essentially lead me to tomorrow. And then if I got tomorrow right, which would eventually be what? Today, then that would take care of the next day. So I stopped being overwhelmed by the big picture, because there's no way I could possibly have come up with the different things that I've been able to achieve by thinking right now I was able to achieve them, because it's just 10x from where I was. Like, I didn't believe that I could honestly get well. I didn't believe I could have abundant energy. I didn't believe I could have great relationship, like all these different things. And it's because I didn't have them at the moment. So what I realized was, in order to get rid of that anxiety and that overwhelm, I had to focus on simply what I could do today. And I started to create these non-negotiables that would make me happy today, right? Because it's funny, but a lot of us are searching for happiness in the future. But I ask, well, what would make you happy today? How could you get a little bit of that today? And that's always been my question. And it's not me that's poised this, but it's revolutionary in the fact that you're looking for happiness somewhere out in the future. But what if you could get a taste of that happiness today? And then that happiness can compound, because the more happy days you have, the happier overall you're going to be. Because you're literally rewiring your subconscious, saying, well, I'm actually pretty happy today. Like, life's not so bad. Sure, I could want more, do more, be more, and have more in the future, but I'm also happy today. And so that's how I started to look at it. So now, sure, I'll set goals. I have goals. Maybe they come in a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 20 years from now, whatever it might be. But I can still be happy today. And that's the great thing. And I actually believe that your goals will come to you faster when you are happier today, because you're grateful for what you have right now in the present moment. And you have perspective that you have so much more than maybe someone else that isn't in your position. And although you want more, and that's okay, it's okay to have desire, that you can be good with what you have now. So I was able to do this through what I call the non-negotiable. What are the things that, the non-negotiables are the things that are going to make me feel present and happy today. So I want to take you through 5 of those. I probably have, as I said, about a dozen non-negotiables. I'll share more in the future for sure. But 5 that I have to do. Like, it's every single day, I have to do these. And if not, then something was missing from that day, and I'm not as satisfied at the end of the day and feeling as good as if I had accomplished all those 5. Now, it's not a million things, and you're going to see that they're not wild. Like, these are not crazy things for me to be able to accomplish. But it's even better, because if I'm able to do them, where most days I am, then I feel good, right? That's why you don't want your non-negotiables to be difficult. If your non-negotiables are difficult, well, then you're not going to feel as good about accomplishing them. Plus, you're not going to want to do them because they're super challenging, right? So they can build off each other in the future. Start small, start simple, and allow yourself to enjoy being able to achieve those. So my first one is this. My first non-negotiable for the day, believe it or not, starts with the night before. So every night, really before I leave work, I create a list of things that I need to do the next day. So it's kind of my to-do list. Most of us have a to-do list, but some don't. And I'll tell you right now, when you don't have a to-do list, you're always trying to say, well, what was I supposed to do? What was I supposed to do? You spend way too much time thinking about what you're supposed to do, and therefore you waste time. You might spend more time on social media. You might spend more time just kind of tidying up the house rather than doing the things that are going to move you forward. So I simply put together my to-do list before I leave work. And if I wasn't able to accomplish everything that day, although I might be a little disappointed, I simply say, listen, you can only do so much in a day. That's the truth. You can only do so much in a day. It's going on tomorrow's list. Pull it towards the top if it needs to be done first, right? So I try to prioritize the things that have to get done are my 1A and 1B. So it's 2 things. Those 2 things have to get done, right? It has to get done. Okay, so I time block it, and then that's where it is in my schedule. So my first non-negotiable is I have to know what I'm doing the next day so that I don't just waste the first half of the day, because that's very easy for me to do. I can go on these wild research-based rabbit holes where 2-3 hours passed. And I'm looking at all sorts of different research that I love looking at, right? Tomorrow's show is on coffee and fasting and autophagy. And I spent a couple hours on that rabbit hole there. And again, that was kind of plugged in, but I could easily do that every single day. So that's why we have to be careful, because we can waste a lot of our day. And if you're someone with goals, you just can't waste hours of your day. You're just not going to achieve what you want to achieve. And if that's tied to your happiness, don't waste your time. So what I do is before I leave work, I've got my to-do list for the next day. And then when my girls go to bed, somewhere around 7:30 or so, when my wife and I are cleaning up and we're kind of getting ready for our own time, I just review that list. I'm like, okay, yep, that's what I need to do. Does it look good? Has anything changed since then? Anything at work come in? And if the answer is no, okay, well then I know what I need to do, and now my night's over. It really is. Now I can relax, and I can let those cortisol levels drop. I can allow my melatonin levels to rise, maybe put on my blue blockers, and I'm good to go. Like, I can relax the rest of the night. So my non-negotiable actually starts the evening before. All right. Number 2, my second daily habit, my non-negotiable, is waking up 30 to 60 minutes before the rest of my family. And I know I've mentioned this many times before, but I want to share with you, it can be 30 to 60 minutes before your partner, 30 to 60 minutes before you even have to get ready for work, like whatever it might be. It doesn't have to be tied to family. It's not about that. For me, it's 60 minutes before I have to start what I call not my day, right? So my time is essentially an hour in the morning because I wake up early. It's about an hour at lunchtime. Not always, but between a half hour and an hour at lunch. And then I sneak in some time at the end of the day. There's no doubt about that. So I have a podcast on my 3 anchors. I will link that up today at stephencabral.com/1760, I believe is today's show. Yes, stephencabral.com/1760. That's the next podcast I do recommend listening to, is my 3 anchors for the day. So here's the thing though. The reason why I wake up earlier is because I need to start my day with a sense of calm, a sense of peace, and a sense of inspiration for the day. I've learned that a long time ago. My mind is a very dangerous place, I call it. It can go in the wrong direction real fast, and it's not ideal. It's not a good place to be, meaning I can just get overwhelmed with ideas and thoughts and all these different things. And I've learned to just be at peace with it. I've learned to actually control it in a positive way. So when those things happen, my mind simply shifts. But the way that I get it into the positive mindset to start the day is I wake up, it's just me and my dog, literally. I wake up, I take my dog outside, even in the freezing cold, and I just breathe, I let him run around, I let him do his thing, and then I get back inside and I get right into my day. I literally get right into the day because that's what's given me the most energy in my life. So that's been a game changer. But during me getting ready for my day, it's with calm, it's with peace, I don't rush it, and I'm listening to a podcast, or I'm reading a passage typically from a book, or I am listening or watching a video, something inspiring. Now, maybe I've already seen it a half a dozen to a dozen times before. I find it inspiring, and it allows me to get that singular focus for the day, that today is going to be a good day. That's it. That's how I start my day. Today is going to be a good day. My wife knew that the other night I was stressed about, I don't know what it was. It was something to do with work-based things and et cetera. It's like nothing bad, but it's just stressful. And so I said, okay. And the next day she asked me, how are you feeling today? And I said, appreciate you asking me. And I said, I feel great. So what I try to do is I leave that on the previous day and I start my day as a new day. Today's a new day. Whatever happened yesterday, sure, some of it may carry over to today, but the perspective can be different. All right, so that's number 2. I start with a sense of calm. Whatever that is for you, do that for you. Really, do that for you. And number 2 leads into number 3. You need to focus. The first thing that you do for your day should be focused on your growth. So for me, I focus on my growth, my growth as an individual, which will be different than yours. So for example, if what brings you happiness is, let's say, your big goal of losing 100 pounds, okay? Then good. Your first thing is probably getting that's something inspirational, 5 minutes or less. Okay, I'm inspired. Then you're getting into your workout. Maybe it's fasted cardio, whatever it might be for you. And then it might be meal prepping for your day, but it's focused around your growth in that area. And I typically say just choose one. So for me, I was always focused on getting myself healthy, right? 10 years of trial and error and just it was just brutal, right? But eventually I figured it out because I just stuck with it. That was my focus. I was super groggy in the morning. And so really the first thing I started focusing on, let me just give myself an energizing breakfast. And that's why I came upon smoothies, right? And that's why I created the daily nutritional support and that daily foundational protocol, because that gave me energy, and it does to this day. If you're focused on spirituality, well, you're going to want to read whatever you feel is spiritual-based material. That is what you're going to want to do because it's your growth-based factor. If it's health, well, you're focused on what you need to do for health for the day. You might be reading something, you might be listening to something, but you're focused on that. And for me, my work right now is, what I'm focused on is trying, for many, many years, 20 years, more than 20 years now, I've been focused on really giving the best that I could one-on-one attention in my private practice. And now what I'm trying to do is take everything I've learned over 2 decades, 250,000 client appointments. It's got to be close to 1 million pages of research now, including all the books I've read, et cetera. And just say, I've done all of this. I know that it works. Let me put this into a simple, formatted, some type of course, or what I'm calling health results accelerators, in order to pass this on. Because I can only work about 2,000 hours a year, right, with people. 2,000 hours, and that's great, right? That's about 40 hours a week, and even that that's intense. So And again, all of that is great, but I just know that more than 2,000 people a month could benefit, not a year, right? So that's how I'm looking at things, is I just feel that I know works. And it's not me as, the doctor, the integrative health practitioner saying, you have to do it my way. It's actually all about education. It's about just showing people that there's another way, that you have an alternative. You really do. And that you can get well. I honestly believe that. It's like, you can get well. There's always an answer, and you just don't know the underlying root cause right now. So I'm trying to teach that to people. So what I'm doing right now are things that inspire me to shift focus into a one-to-many approach. How can I help the greatest amount of people possible in 2021? And that's been my focus. And so I actually have to change. I have to change into someone that has a bigger voice. That's really it. That is willing to get out there and just say, there is another way. And that's really it. And here it is. And so that's taking some time for me, and it is. And it's a growth-based process, and I need to work through that, and I am. So that's what I'm doing right now for myself. And again, that'll shift maybe in 3 months, because I'll be done putting together this. I'm probably going to do 12 to 15 different topics. And so things will change. And that's why I just want you to focus on what's this next 12 weeks going to be for you. All right. Wellness, weight loss, spirituality, relationships, and your focus maybe on career or whatever it might be. So my next non-negotiable is this. Number 4 is a lunchtime reset. Now, ideally I get an hour. That hour allows me to go for a walk, eat something nutritious, put in some binaural beats, listening to a funny podcast, something that just switches gears. Because when I'm doing my work, I can be quite intense. I've always been intense. My parents tell me from, when I was essentially a baby, I was intense, okay? So my job as a human, as someone that wants to stay in balance with their constitution, is to say, it's okay to be intense, but you need to be able to switch gears and just relax, right? So that's what I do. I'll work hard for how many hours? 4 hours or so in the morning. And then I will take that lunchtime rewind, that reset, and then I can work for another 4 hours after that. And of course it varies in whatever it might be, but it's a great way. I mean, it's just a reset, like, hey, where am I right now? At lunchtime, it's just like, where am I right now? Has the day been super stressful? Can I just get outside and walk for 20 minutes? And I always tell people I'm walking at lunch for 20 minutes unless it's raining sideways. Like, that's it. If my umbrella will not block the rain, well, I'm not going to get soaked for the day. Like, that's the only time. And it's funny because in my office now, I actually have a trampoline. So I have a rebounder now in my office, and I just jump on that for just a minute. That's it. Honestly, I'll just do minute intervals on it. And every time I just kind of walk by, if I get up, if I'm, making something, then I hop on that and I just jump on it. And it's a great way just to like, okay, I'm relaxing, I'm moving that lymphatic tissue. It's fantastic. So your lunchtime might look different for you, but if you're using my method to read 10 pages a day, which is a book a month, then you can take that lunchtime as well just to read 3 pages. Super simple, right? 3 pages in the morning when you wake up, 3 pages at lunch, 3 pages before bed. You read 10 pages. You do that for a month, you've read a 300-page book. And so you can do that. Anybody can do that, but use your lunchtime as a little bit of time to unwind. All right. My next one, my last one, my 5th habit is I am home 7 days a week now for dinner with my family. And so before it used to be more like 5 to 6 on a good week because I was in private practice. I was running a huge functional medicine center in Boston, 20,000 appointments a year. All these things are great. But Wednesdays was my late day, and it was until just about 7-8 months ago. Yeah, right around the virus. And now I'm home every single night by dinner, before dinner. And it's not just about being there for dinner with my family, it's about being present. So when I get home, my phone leaves my body and it goes on my windowsill. It's going on the windowsill because that's essentially where I charge it. I charge it outside of my bedroom, and it's in my kitchen, and then it's just away. Like, it's just out of my range, out of my sight. And right away, I'm talking with my daughters about their day. If we have a little bit of time, we're getting outside for a couple minutes before dinner. We're helping to set the table. It's just about the little things of being present. And for the next 2 hours is just family time. That's it. Like, it's only that with my daughters. It's just completely their time. And for me, although yes, I still have to travel sometimes and I'm still not able to make it there, it's like my best days are when I get that time. And if I'm not present and if I'm stressed about something else, and that is an issue, because for me, I have to find this balance between my growth and what I love, which is my work, but also my family and my downtime as well. And so that has to be a part of the day. So I'm looking at that is part of who I am. Now on the weekends, I could say my non-negotiable is not working. Like Saturdays and Sundays is family time. Was it always able to be that? No, it wasn't. For many years, I had to work weekends because I was doing things to get to where I am today. And now I get to enjoy that. And so that's why I want to let people know there are different phases of life. I worked the weekends 7 days a week when I was building up my practice. It's just, that's the way that it was. And now I get to enjoy that. So again, like there are different levels to that. But these 5 things, starting my day the night before with that to-do list, my waking up with positivity, with inspiration, with a sense of peace and calm is essential. My doing the first thing of the day, focused on what that day needs to be, setting the tone, is absolutely a big part of my day. Number 4, with just resetting at lunch, just be like, okay, we need to breathe for a moment. Reset, relax, unwind. Life is good. Checking in with family. And then get home in time for dinner, spend a couple hours a night, and then all the weekends with my family, with my 2 daughters, and really having that as a non-negotiable. Those things allow me, and again, you might think that these are crazy. You might have your own non-negotiables. You might find other things important. I totally get that, and I respect that. These are just mine. This is just, I go to bed earlier now because I want to wake up earlier. Like, a lot of people might not see that. I would not have believed this in my early 20s, that's for sure, right? I stayed up later, all these different things. But I've set up my life to include these things, and it's allowed me to enjoy every day and not really postpone my happiness to the future. So I hope that you start to create your own non-negotiables. You can borrow some of these. You can interweave them into your own life. And I do believe in time you'll discover even more that allow you to be fulfilled, at peace, and enjoy a sense of joy in the present moment. Thank you so much for tuning into today's show. I appreciate you. And as always, if this show is helpful, please do feel free to share it with anyone else you believe it could serve. It's hard to believe, but we are already at that time of the year again. I mean, absolutely hard to believe, but it is now the holiday season. And with the holiday season, we of course have our own Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale. It's one of those things that we like to do each year. We only offer 2 sales per year, 2 store-wide sales per year. Our semi-annual sale, typically in early July, and our holiday sale the end of November. So this is our time to essentially say we're going to offer you everything we have at up to 25% off. This is our way of saying thank you. As a customer, as a wellness client, we appreciate you. We really thank you for your support and really your support over the years. And we would love it if you were able to maybe introduce someone else in your life to the Equal Life-based brand, whether it is a lab, whether it's your favorite nutritional supplement, whether it's one of our top protocols like the heavy metal detox, the intestinal cleanse, the ParaPro support, the CBO protocol, you name it. Whatever works for you, whatever you love, we would love you to share with others. And absolutely, the detox is one of those best places to start. Every single January, we do our New Year's detox. Hopefully, you're stocking up for that as well. So right now, head on over to Equalife, which is equa.life. It's EQUI.LIFE. That's the brand new website. So many changes have happened over the past few weeks. If you haven't been over the past few weeks, definitely check it out. We changed it. We made it even easier to choose your quantity discount. We took it off of subscription, so you can order a subscription if you want for 15% off. Totally up to you, or a one-time purchase. The goal for us is to provide you with the very best labs, the very best protocols, the very best nutritional supplements like our daily foundational protocol, and also make the shopping experience fun and easy as well. Head on over to equa.life right now for up to 25% off store-wide. Happy holidays, everyone.